There we go. Looks like I'm on. Yeah. I need to make sure I triple check. Thanks to the insidious machinations of Susan Wojcicki. Yeah, I'm on. Everyone can hear me? Testing, testing. Sorted. Bill, Tez, Richard, Sean, how are you doing? Yeah, seriously, I have to check about 8 times now. Yeah, I almost feel like I've caught the eye of Sauron, and Susan's there watching me, going, "What's that little hairy bastard up to today?" You know, Alan, up, Paddy, everyone, yeah. I think I've created a nickname for myself for the rest of my life. As long as my family and friends don't see any of these, I can live with it. All right, Al. Bushman Outdoors, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. This is not Limpston. You don't have to be 5 minutes early. In Civvy Street, being bang on time is totally fine. I've talked about it before. You know, the worst thing about the core is when the 5 minutes early thing goes through every single officer, NCO, senior, junior, everyone before it gets to you. So the CO tells all the company commanders, get them fell in at 6 a.m. outside the armory. And then it becomes 5 to 6 when it gets to the OCs, and then 10 to 6 when it gets to the LTs, and then 20 to 6 when it gets to the sergeants, and then 5:30 when it gets to the fucking corporals. And by the time it gets to you, you stood outside the armory about 5:05 with your thumb wedged firmly up your arsehole for 55 minutes. It's a fucking nightmare. Always happens. And I only ever had one good boss who was aware of it. You know, I was in for nearly 10 years. I worked for about 9 different company commanders. I think only one ever in front of me while I was in a briefing said, get the lads fell in at 6. And he was like, and by the way, that means fucking 6 o'clock. So don't pass it down to the juniors and your NCOs any earlier. I want them there at 6. Yeah, 5:02 is acceptable. I don't want to fucking drive in at 5:30 and see a bunch of blokes stood outside the armory looking pissed off. One guy in 10 years seemed to know that was a thing. And the rest of them, fuck it. You stand outside the armory like a bunch of cunts, I don't care. Gustavo, John, Andy, hello everyone. It's actually getting hard to keep tabs on people now. I'm starting to increase my numbers. Despite the machinations of Susan Sauron Wojcicki. Jerry, still always on time, I get pissed off. I'll tell you what, no shit, the Corps do a great job of indoctrinating you to be a good employee, don't they? Because I've been a civvy for fucking 10 years and I'm still never late for anything. And I've never had a sick day. When I was working for the city in York, they used to have these ridiculous fucking... When did you get your shares in Amazon? Yeah, I've got a few. I've got like 5. I had a Christmas bonus and all the money I'd saved up from the year a few years ago, and I bought 5 shares because it cost a fucking fortune, but they have gone up. I was just saying on Facebook, any of you people that are talking about, oh, you've got to support local business, you've got to look after them, be aware I've got like 5 shares in Amazon. So as a result of that paltry number, I'm more than happy to see you all ignore all of your locally sourced honest family businesses and just buy endless fucking shit from dodgy Chinese what's the word for them? What is it? I'm drawing a blank altogether. What is it when it's a total fake? There's a nice neat word that sums it up. Yeah, well, it's totally eluded me. Yeah, buy all of your shit off those guys. The dodgy Chinese manufacturers, yeah? Get it all off them. Total shit. Breaks within 3 weeks of using it. Get it all off the monomaniacal, balding lunatic, please, because that might make me a penny. Not bootleg. There's a more, lengthy, professional-sounding term. C. It's on the tip of my tongue. Weird when that happens and you just get a total counterfeit. Yeah. buy it from the Chinese counterfeiters to increase the superpowers of the bald monomaniacal genius, Jeff Bezos. Because if you do that and totally run all of your local businesses into the ground and put a few 100,000 people into crushing poverty, I'll make £4 next year. So definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Fuck it. Line his pockets. Bonkers Bezos. He's my man. I'm kidding, of course. Mozza, yeah, counterfeit was the idea I was looking for. So what shit have I got for you today? You've all got 45 minutes to burn. I didn't have too much to talk about. I just wanted to go through the Gab News' nice little list of the big list of voter fraud news. They've got loads of good stuff because it makes me laugh, right? Every single time I fucking go on, turn the TV on, put CNN on, anything. Every single time you just get 10 stories from people. Well, more than 10, fucking hundreds. Every single story you see now is Trump makes claims that there was electoral fraud even though there's no evidence. Every time. Even though there's no evidence. Even though there's no evidence. And it's like, if you even spend 3 minutes clicking on websites on the internet that aren't CNN or MSNBC or the BBC, you literally see hundreds of fucking stories. I just think, well, I don't quite understand where the idea that there's no evidence comes from. Like, you know what I mean? You could say there's not enough evidence that it would affect the election, possibly. I'm thinking if I was working for the BBC and I didn't want to give Trump any time at all, but I don't fucking lie because I don't want to tell lies, I would say something like, there are multiple small instances of electoral fraud, but it's not believed that the total is big enough to swing the election. That's how they should be reporting it, right? I'm trying, as I always do, to give the lefties as much rope as I possibly can, right? Surely that is how they should be reporting it. Because some of these things are documented facts. It's like, here is a documented fact and it's been acknowledged by everyone in the country that there was 6,000 votes that were meant for Trump and they got switched to Biden. And everyone has said, oh yeah, that was an error. We've switched them to Trump. So how the fuck can you turn around and say, despite no evidence? Like in every story, it's despite no evidence. And I'm like, well, I've seen loads. So what you should be saying is, there is a lot of evidence of small amounts of voter fraud, but we don't believe it would affect the outcome. At least that would be honest. But they're just fully denying it exists. And as I'm about to display, there's fucking loads of it. Before I get started, I'll do some comedy goodness because, you know, we don't want things to get too serious. And here's the few that I've got for you today. So first of all, there was a story on the BBC entitled Diabetes Burnout, all about this woman saying, you know, again, like they always do on the BBC, like just, there's never anything about life's hard, you just have to be harder. No, that's my vision for life. Life's tough, it is, and I'll never claim it's tough, and I wouldn't mock anyone who isn't tough. Some people have got metal upstairs and some people haven't. And you've got to do your best to support people that haven't. But it's a good message to give to people that life's tough, you just have to be tougher, and humanity has it within themselves to always be tough enough. There's people out there who lose their entire family in a fucking yachting accident. The wife, kids and dogs drown. And they get over it. They're in pain, but they move on. They move on with their life. The message should be promoted that life's difficult, but we're all tough enough to handle it. But the BBC and all these, it does seem like the agenda is make people as pathetic as possible. So they are always reliant on us. They're reliant on the state. They're reliant on the local council. They're reliant on the media. They want you reliant on people all the time because then they get to be in charge, don't they? Like Thatcher said about it being important to get out of debt, because if you're in debt to China or whoever else, you're not really standing on your own 2 feet. You always owe someone a favour. So I don't like the BBC's way of always making like, oh, everything's so hard, it's a massive burden. There's no message in here that it is shit getting diabetes. But could be worse, couldn't it? Could have bollock cancer. I think I'd rather have diabetes than bollock cancer. Either way, I would suck it up and get on with it. It fucking sucks. But humanity has the tools to deal with anything that life throws at you, and that's a good message that I try to convey all the time. You're stronger than you know, and you always will be. Fucking deal with it. Or do your best. Anyway, so this is the funny part. I don't want to depress everyone with diabetes and bollock cancer. Not the happiest subject in the world, are they? Interesting. Did you know you can't be in the military if you've got diabetes? Because obviously you can't get your medication. I had a good mate who was another corporal. He was across from me in the cabin in 4-2 Commando. Because in 4-2 Commando, I don't know how good the accommodation is. It's not like the RAF where everyone gets their own fucking room with a jacuzzi in. In 4-2 Commando, everyone lived in a 6-man room. The 2 NCOs got a little shitty cabin. And then there was a 4-man room at the end of the block, and you shared the bathroom, the heads. So I don't know what it's like now, but at the time, that's how it was. And the guy across from me, fit as a fucking fiddle, he was fitter than me. 6'2", ripped to fuck, mega fit lad called Ash. And one day he come in, he's packing all his gear up, and I was like, what's the crack? And he said, I've been MD'd. So he was pissing a lot for a week, went to the doctors, found out he had diabetes, just came on out of fucking nowhere, and the poo couldn't have to leave the car. Like I said, life happens. It could happen to me, it could happen to you. Shit happens, but you should always remember you can focus yourself and you can deal with the shit things that life throws at you. Anyway, there's my uplifting shit for the day. Let's get to what this reminded me of that made me fucking laugh, right? So this story reminded me of a classic old video that was going around fucking years ago on my I've seen it on my phone. Sugar diabetes, a Welsh heavyweight. I don't think that sounds particularly Welsh, but Welsh is just, like the alphabet vomited. Like, anyway, this made me laugh, and this showed up on my phone. It's somewhere in Middlesbrough, Hartlepool, wherever I'm from, northeast somewhere. And it's hilarious, despite the fact I'm aware of the fact that there is medical reasons for it. It's hilarious because the roadman displays complete ignorance of the fact that diabetes can cause joint swelling, and it in no way detracts from the amusement. So this is the video that made me laugh.
Stop. Mate, come here. How come you've got, right? Here's a look at this. How come you've got a fucking night trader and a fucking Timberland boot on?
Because I've got diabetes.
You've got diabetes? What's that got to do with fucking shoes, you ranch cunt?
Because I have...
That's quality, isn't it? Could you hear the audio?
Stop.
Did you get the audio on that? Yeah, so the... It's a back knocked out on a bin. I've seen that in Middlesbrough. It's northeast thing, isn't it? Use the wheelie bins. Anyway, I thought that was quality. Just because he said to him, what the fuck has diabetes got to have in odd shoes, you raged cunt? So, yeah, it made me howl. Just for the pedants out there, if you have diabetes, your blood's thicker because of all the sugar in it. That's why they go blind. Blindness is a thing for diabetes, or you can lose a limb, and it's because your extremities don't get all of the blood flow to them. So being diabetic can give you swelling in the extremities. So he's probably put a Timberland boot on because he can't get his trainers on. But it's still fucking funny, isn't it? Just because he pisses himself laughing and says, what's fucking diabetes got to do with Timberland boot on, you raged cunt? So that was quality. That made me laugh. And yeah, you can see he's a bit similar. Well, to be honest, he's not overweight and he's relatively young and slim. I would assume he's got diabetes due to drug abuse or something, because he looks a bit fucking tapped, doesn't he? Message retracted. Does that actually happen, or are you fuckers winding me up and pasting in message retracted? What's that noise? That sounds more like an angle grinder than a fucking leaf blower. Don't get me started on the California leaf blowers again, because they do my head in. Told you, it's the maddest thing. When you're in California, all you hear, 24 hours a day, you can hear a fucking leaf blower. Maddest thing, and it goes over one side of the road, and then The rich white people hire Mexicans to use leaf blowers to get the leaves off the property. They blow them across the fucking road, and then they hire Mexicans to blow the leaves back across the road. It's like a game of fucking shit tennis with leaves. Instead of nobody will just rake them up and put them in a bastard bag. It does my head in. One of my pet hates. Yeah, that's bollocks, isn't it? Surely the Google moderation team, isn't that you just cutting and pasting them? I don't believe they'd be so blatant about it. When they delete my fucking comments, they don't tell me they've deleted them. They just do it. Anyway, don't get me started on that again. I'll start whinging again. Something else that made me laugh. I invented another term today that I've never used before in reaction to this picture I've seen in the liberalist meme vault, which is Nunu. Calm down, fellas. It's just a yoga pose. Keep your damn penis in your pants because I don't want it. No hookups. I'm sapiosexual. So as usual, it's quite comical because it seems like the ones with the arse like the back end of a bus are usually the ones that talk about calm down, fellas. And my response to that one, I sort of share it because I've never come up with it before, is I'd rather fuck my granddad's armpit. I was just thinking, you know, that's probably going to be a lot tighter than throwing a fucking sausage through a cathedral door, which would be what you get with Nunu, wouldn't it? So yeah, there you go. That's something else comical for the day. Do you rate LA homelessness higher than the UK homelessness? Definitely. There's fucking loads of tramps out here. Loads of them. Because the weather's so nice. That's my assumption. You know, I've lived in Alabama, lived in other places. There's never as many tramps. So I'm assuming if you're a tramp in somewhere fucking Baltic like Canada, you panhandle for a day. Get some change and then jump on a bus and fuck off to California, because LA and the surrounds is just homeless central. Like, there's absolutely fucking loads of them. And it depresses me as well because, have you noticed, we never had tramps. When I was a young lad, you hardly ever saw homeless people. Wasn't that many. Like, seriously, there was hardly any tramps. There was like one tramp, the local neighbourhood tramp, and everyone knew the fucker. It was like, wasn't a massive number of them. And then I went to London. Again, this is globalisation and the EU and sloppy immigration practices. We're not doing people a favour. You go to London now and you see tents everywhere, don't you? I was shocked. I went home last year to see me old fella and me mates, and we spent a few days sightseeing in London with me missus. Got a hotel in London for like 3 days before we went up north. Fucking just tramps everywhere in London now. And you never used to see that. Because we don't even put any effort in to fucking controlling illegal immigration, and we've got these no fucking procedures anymore. Just tramps everywhere. It's not good for us and it's not good for them. Yeah, I'm like, nice to see what I expect from my watchers. Just endless crude sexual metaphors. I don't think there's any I haven't heard, which which shows the amount of pointless knowledge taking up space in my brain. Like I said, that's just 15 years reading the Viz when I was a kid. So there's that one. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I do want to check something. Here's my Redbubble shop. And someone's been sending me messages on Facebook saying, I can't find any of the Christmas cards you made because due to popular request, I stuck them up there. So if you can, I'll share the link in chat. Check that for me and see if you can see at the top of the screen it should say collections, and there should be a pile of fucking Christmas cards, or at least designs. Apparently a lot of people are having issues finding them. Roller and flower and find the web patch. Yep, that's an oldie but a goldie. They should be right there. And I don't know why there wouldn't be. So someone else check that fucking link and have a look for me. Yeah, there's one of my... That's a piece of art. That's weird. I didn't want that. I just wanted fucking Christmas cards and they've stitched them onto everything. Here we are. There's a Christmas card. So someone have a look for me and let me know. There's the art. Yeah, you can see him. He must just be a PC biff then. London used to be full of sweaters. I don't know what you mean by sweaters. Like an American jumper. Boris pulls off the tramp look very well. He definitely does. Mr. Diabetes fell out of the bent over lady. He definitely fit him. Carrie beat him up. See, even though he's the victim in that case, I sort of don't have that much respect for a man who puts up with that. You just fucking... Even if you don't want to defend yourself and stick one on her, you can fucking just leave, can't you? It seems a bit pathetic. So, I don't know, but... So anyway, that works. I'm fine. Let's go through some... Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you guys this before I did the Trump stuff. This is mad as fuck, this. This is like one of the worst, most needlessly antagonistic pieces of media I've ever seen on YouTube. It's just fucking shocking. And like I keep talking about how we need to get away from identity politics and just go back to how it was in the 90s, where, you know, people just don't really talk about it and just get on with their fucking lives. Like I said, nobody would... Red Dwarf was mega popular when I was in primary school, sort of like last year primary school, late 80s, early 90s. No one ever talked about the fact that 2 out of the 3 primary cast members were black or mixed race. It's just a thing. It is definitely healthier to have that attitude, you know? Forget about identity politics and just accept, yeah, man, we're all mates and we all get on and we don't give a fuck. Which, again, is something that annoys me about the current climate, because the Guardianistas and the BBC and the sort of upper-class, university-educated types who run the media and the establishment, they constantly call the working class racist. They think the working class are awful. And it's the working class that have always absorbed these communities, not them. Because poor immigrants come to the fucking country haven't got any money, by definition. Nobody who came over on the Windrush was fucking bling-bling. Were the Bill Gates and his chums weren't on the Windrush. It was the fucking poor people, menial workers, and they came over, and guess where they all moved into? Shitty council estates. The working class people integrated these fuckers, not Guardian reading wankers who live in 100% white domiciles surrounded by other upper crust white wankers. It's us. The working class people integrated these people. So who the fuck are they to call us? We did that, not you. You're miles away from them. You've never lived in a street with a fucking Asian family or a black family. You don't do it. You live in... Oh, hey, I like that. You look 28 or something. I'll take that. Cheers. It's my secret technique for good skincare. What you do is... You drink a lot of water and you go to the gym 4 days a week and you thrash yourself, and then you binge drink all weekend, and it sort of resets everything. And your body goes, fuck, that nearly killed me. I better remake my face, get it ready for Monday. So it's a nice happy medium between exercising too much and drinking too much. Just do that for 25 years and it keeps you in good nick. Yeah, being racist, we're all good at that. Apparently, they're the racists. They don't even live with each other. How the hell do you find this stuff? Just people I follow. I think I've seen that on the Iconoclast. You know that guy who got banned because he's a white nationalist? He is, as I said. I follow and watch a lot of people who are right of me, because I follow and watch a lot of people that are left of me, because I need to find out what's going on. I follow Owen Jones. I watched Owen Jones. I sat through Owen Jones interviewing Peter Hitchens. I find it quite fascinating. You have to immerse yourself in everyone's different opinions and ideas, or you become an ideologue, don't you? And that's something that I'm not willing to do, because I think I'm a reasonable, sensible fella and I want to be informed. So yeah, I find these things because some of them do come from sources which are a little bit questionable. A lot of people that are pissed off and angry spend a lot of time looking for these fucking videos, don't you? But it's not a minor thing. Look at the comments. 10.1 million subscribers. 10 million. 10 fucking million. So not a small channel. This is what I'm getting at. Not a minor source. It's 10.1 million subs and they are preaching full-blown race hate. Like, nothing is going to make you more resentful and annoyed if you're a white person that's sort of on the cusp. If you've ended up like in not a good place where you've sort of surrendered to the bitterness and the anger, and you're starting to go down the path towards white nationalism, and just going, you know what, fuck it doesn't matter if you were born in England, just deport them all. That type of nonsense that normal people don't agree with. This will kick you over the edge, and that's why I keep saying it's insanity that we're policing the right wing in all ways. The far right have just got policed on everything. Laura, what's her name? Towler can't even get a fucking mortgage. It's like they are twisting the nipples of the far right and allowing the far left to do whatever they want. And my point is, like I keep saying, I'm a centrist person, but I'm always going on about the left because the left have all the power now. I'm like a fucking necromancer in Diablo. I'll go whichever side needs reinforcing to stop things getting out of kilter. And at this point, if you're interested in maintaining a centrist liberal democracy where everyone's free to do whatever they want and say whatever they want, you have to be opposed to the left because the left are winning. The right aren't. The right have got nothing. They've been completely crushed. They've got, in a way that is deeply immoral. Because if you drive these people underground, they'll never come back to the middle, will they? The left are, yes, I'm agit, the left are insane at this point. So I'm not far fucking right, but I spend all of my time basically picking on the left because the left have got the power and the left have got the influence and the left have got they've got the running shoes on and the right have already been beaten. The left are picking on the right at this point, aren't they? The far left are picking on them. Owen Jones is kicking Tommy Robinson while he's down. Tommy Robinson's got no power, no fucking influence, no voice. And these scumbags, the BBC and the Guardian, are just getting more and more powerful, so you have to oppose them. Anyway, so I'll just play you this for a couple of minutes. Just watch this and tell me, do you think this is a good idea? Do you think that all of these people that are preaching inclusivity and all this nonsense they're coming up with, do you think if you're a person that's currently on a slippery slope, like let's say you're someone who's not in a good place, you desperately need a job, and you've just applied for the BBC and they've said, sorry, we're not giving you a job because you're white. We have to give it to a black person. If that's just happened to you and you're starting to go down the slippery slope towards bitterness and resentment, watch this video and you tell me, do you think this will make you all of a sudden go, yep, I think the far right are all lunatics, I'm definitely embracing liberalism now? Or do you think it's going to possibly have negative effects on your mental health? Just watch this hateful video and ask yourself, is this a sensible thing we should be putting up out there on YouTube while they're censoring milquetoast fuckers like me?
Are white people superior at?
Oh, well, according to television.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oh, well, according to television, everything. A white man could fly. Even a white woman, she could be 4'1". She knew karate. She could take down 15 people.
Don't know why they spell it wrong. No idea why. Everything has to be spelt weird nowadays. It's a new thing, innit? Put an X in. What's wrong with FOLKS? Fuck knows.
What are white people superior at?
Man.
Oh, God.
What are white people superior at?
They just...
You get the idea. It is like, so like I said, is that gonna cheer you up? Oh look, some twat constantly I think this is the first time I've ever had my chat spammed. How do I throw him out? There we go. Oh no, that's not even. All right, so I've learnt today then, after all these live streams, that I need to have someone that you can block. The reason I've never done that is because I don't block anyone. I don't delete comments and I don't fucking block people. You can have a 300-second timeout though. So yeah, the short version is watch that and tell me, do you think that's a good idea? Do you think those type of videos are going to make people come together? or do you think people are going to be chums? I need a moderator. Yeah, there's a lot of things I need, mate, but I'm not the most tech savvy fella, am I? It's not a good idea, is it? Just not. I'll leave a link in the description after this, and if you really want to self-flagellate, you can watch the fucking thing. But it is terrible. Just, well, we'll do another 30 seconds, shall we?
Keep talking. Mostly about their pets.
White people love their dogs. Like, that's all you see.
Cats, letting them get on your countertops while you're cooking. Yes. I get that you love your pet, but like you need to take it everywhere? Like everywhere? I guess, you know, hey, emotional support animals, I guess.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Fuck, man, like making cereal.
Casseroles.
What kind of casserole?
Tuna.
Just shit like that. It's ridiculous. So, fuck knows. How that has been allowed on YouTube when, like I said, people like me and Paz are getting fucking random comments deleted for no reason and your video's banned when that's up there, genuinely fascinates me. I don't know why. I don't know why it's there. And like I said, I'm sure people have made the comment. Can you imagine if the roles were reversed and you made a video like I'm even worried of uttering the sentence because I'm sure Susan Wojcicki will send the SWAT team round my house. I'll get swatted by the Google executives, but seriously, can you imagine if you reversed the question and you just had a video with loads of like scandies going, let's see, how good, are they any good at anything? Nah. Or, do you think they can do things as well as you can? Fuck off, it's insanity to even ask the question. It's like, it's mental, innit? So yeah, crazy. 10 million views. Just full-blown race hate on the internet. And that's fine. And that's making my point for me, right? Anyone who says to me, oh, if you consider yourself a centrist, why are you always picking on the left? Because the left are winning. Because the left are winning. Milquetoast, centrist wankers like me get constantly fucking censored. You get your comments deleted. You're not even in charge of your own channel. But you can do full-blown race hate to 10 million people and nobody fucking cares. White Men Can't Jump. Wasn't a bad film, that, though, was it? When I was a lad, that was a decent film. I haven't seen it since I was fucking hell. I think I was about 11 when I watched that. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy time to live in. And I'm just astounded it's still up there. It's got 14,000 dislikes, 10.1 million subscribers, just full-blown race hate on the internet. Not a good idea, if you ask me, but what do I know? Right, I've got 15 minutes left. Let's go through some of the evidence that I promised I was going to do. First one. Military ballots found in the trash. So remember, right? New York Times, LA Times, CNN. There is no evidence at all of voter fraud. They don't say there isn't enough evidence to affect the outcome, which at least would be something like honest. They just fully say there is no evidence. Go on Twitter. Trump's like, I won the election. No. There's no evidence. So what's this then? Military ballots found in the trash in Pennsylvania. Most were Trump votes. If you don't know and you've never worked with them, the American military, they are uniformly Republican. I worked in Afghanistan. I was in Kabul for a bit doing camp security. Force protection is the good way to phrase it. But what you really end up doing is fucking sitting in a sanger looking across the sand for large amounts of time. That's how it goes in Kabul. Better amenities, but nowhere near as much fun as going to Helmand Province. So there's just one piece of evidence. Military ballots found in the trash. So there's one. It took me 10 seconds, found some evidence. Therefore, stop saying despite no evidence. Say there's some evidence, maybe it wouldn't affect the outcome. Just do that. And then don't have to lie, do you? What else have we got? Arizona voters filed lawsuits to restore their ballots cancelled over Sharpies. So they're claiming that the ballots were cancelled because they were asked to use Sharpie markers to fill them out instead. So yeah, it says on the ballot, you have to use a proper pen. Can't just use a Sharpie, which is the English version, is like a big fat marker pen. Apparently they were given the marker pens and said use these, and then when they handed them in, they fucking tossed them. So there's another one. Looks. I'm not saying it would affect the outcome, but it at least is evidence that warrants an investigation, right? Surely. By definition. You want some evidence? There's some. You want some more evidence? There's some. Have a look. Read it. Let's have another look at Let's have a look at another one. Pennsylvania Attorney General, yeah? So he's not a hobo. It doesn't say Pennsylvania crusty tramp covered in shit in a shop doorway tells us that the outcome of the election was predetermined. That didn't happen, yeah? It wasn't, we stopped a toothless, one-eyed prostitute and asked her about the election. No, it's the Attorney General, right? Quite a big deal. He said, and I did read about this actually, I seen this twat on Twitter. Yet another Twitter twat. Let me have a look at the good bit. You don't want to read all this shit, do you? Oh, that must be his tweet, look. He said, look, if all the votes are added up in PA, Trump is going to lose. This is the Attorney General before the election. That's why he's working overtime to subtract as many votes as possible from this process. For the record, zero sex against in court. Ignore the noise and vote. So, he was clearly dominating. His crowds were absolutely massive, and Biden had none. And you had a notably partisan, vocally partisan, dirty bag of carrots. That's not anything to do with the election. More to be honest. Let's steer away from the slutty women and talk about voting. Yeah. So there you go. Attorney General, not a small role. Nakedly partisan tweets, basically telling the world that he's got a conflict of interest and he's not fucking interested in the outcome. He's called the election for Trump before the election had even started. So, evidence, right? Looks like evidence to me. Apologies for the fucking leaf blower. Fucking leaf blowers. Here's another one. Florida postal employee charged with stealing mail-in ballot, right? So, he's actually been charged. Charged by the police, right? That's one above simply getting arrested because they've actually charged him. If I got arrested for I wouldn't do anything too weird. Let's just say exposing myself outside a fast food restaurant, right? If I decided to get my balls out outside McDonald's because it's a hot climate in California and they definitely needed some wind between them, I would get arrested. And only if there was evidence would I get charged. And the fact that the guy's been charged and not merely been arrested is, you guessed it, fucking evidence. Evidence. Right? Boom. You didn't just get arrested, you got charged. So fucking do one. What else have we got? Bags full of stolen ballots found in a Seattle suburb. Sounds like evidence to me. Maybe it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the election, but it's some fucking evidence, isn't it? Another example of the safe and secure vote by mail is playing out in Sammamish, Washington, a few miles east of Seattle. Garbage bags full of stolen ballots have been discovered on opposite ends of town. Yeah, weird. That sounds like evidence to me. Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you feel it? Yes. Well, then it's fucking evidence, isn't it? Done. What else? There must be some better ones. Wisconsin authorities investigate absentee ballots found in a ditch. Evidence. Nearly 50,000 Ohio voters received the wrong absentee ballots, officials say. Look. Evidence. Right? Evidence. Nearly 50,000 Ohio voters. And this isn't on www.trumpismyfucking-living-legend.com. I want to suck the orange god dry.co.uk. It's fucking Pittsburgh CBSlocal.com. It's KDK CBS Pittsburgh. It's a mainstream publication. Fuck off, leaf blowers. Wasting your time. Waking me up early. But there's your evidence from a mainstream publication. Done. Let's read some comments. It doesn't need to change the outcome, it still proves fraud. Yeah, well, that's the point I'm making. Maybe it wouldn't. I'm not saying it definitely would and Trump would have won by 10 million, although judging by the crowds and the enthusiasm, I would assume he had fucking won. But again, I'm always trying to meet these people halfway because you want to make sure you're making a rock solid argument. And what I'm saying is, there's fucking evidence. Everything you see on Facebook and Twitter, there's no evidence, there's no evidence, there's no evidence. I'm fucking showing you evidence. Here. Right? It's not some Soviet website. I'm not on some weird fucking, you know, an intranet and I'm actually looking at what Trump's son's knocking up in his fucking back garden. It's evidence. When you need the level of fraud to validate there isn't fraud. Is that what they said? It's only Sky News Australia talked about it. I don't fucking get that. BBC had Sniffy on 302 last night. Who's Sniffy? Alright, Shams, you've been away for a while. Been busy? The computer counting glitch. Sargon posted a couple of videos about it. It's evidence, right? Whether or not you think it made a difference, it's definite evidence. So there's about fucking 8 I've done in 5 minutes. It's not hard. Like I said, it goes on and on and on and on. I'm not saying Trump definitely won 100%. But why are they all saying there's no evidence when it takes you 30 seconds to find it? You don't have to be fucking Sherlock Holmes with a bloodhound, do you? You don't need an entire division of military police to help you look for this shit. It's fucking right there. There's literally thousands of people coming out every day saying, fuck me, look at all this evidence. And then CNN and Facebook and Twitter are like, there's no evidence of fraud. There's fucking loads. There's not just some evidence of fraud. There is literally thousands of individuals and hundreds of documented stories about evidence. Everything from throwing them in fucking wheelie bins, telling you to fill them out wrong, handing out the wrong pens, physically changing the software, glitches that have been recognised, acceded to, and they've even switched the votes over like they did in Michigan or Pennsylvania where they found 6,000 for the fucking wrong person. There's been loads of it. So what do you mean there's no evidence? Fuck me. No, the evidence is more, it stands out like a fucking sore thumb. It stands out like a brontosaurus in a neon yellow shell suit that he bought from a fucking Chinese marketplace. You know the ones I'm talking about, like neon fucking yellow with green stripes down the side? Snot green Adibok shell suit. The type that bursts into flames if someone flicks a bogey at you. Them fuckers. It stands out like a brontosaurus in a neon shell suit. So don't tell me there isn't any fucking evidence. I've just found a load in about 5 minutes. Yeah, so there's tons. I think we'll stop there. I'll do one more. And then I have to fuck off. Biden's Texas political director accused in illegal ballot harvesting scheme. According to a lawsuit filed with the Texas Supreme Court. Again, right, you're not talking about people in the basement. You're talking about proper, reliable, well-known and trusted institutions, positions, like I said, state attorney generals, Texas Supreme Court. It isn't Dave and Bobby in the fucking gas station told us that they've seen some corruption. There's a lawsuit filed with the Texas Supreme Court talking about ballot harvesting. So don't fucking tell me there isn't any. Don't tell me there isn't any. You've got no credibility. So it's fucking bollocks. Helen Keller could hum her way to some fucking corruption via echolocation. It's so easy. It's so easy to find. So there you go. Fucking shite. Don't tell me. Gas station. Yeah, I've been here too long. The petrol station. British people are annoying like that. They do hound you when you make any... If I spell colour without the U, or I say one word, I get shit for it. But like I said, you've been out here a while, you do it. I was at work once, and I remember this is when I first got out here, and I had a bit of litter in my hand, and I tossed it to the bloke who stood next to the bin, and I went, "Shot that in the bin, mate." And he was like, "What?" And I said, "Shot it in bin. Shot it in bin." And he was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I had to repeat myself about 8 times, and it annoys you. So you start saying, "Toss it in the trash." That's why you change, because it's annoying, isn't it, repeating yourself over and over and over and over again. Oh yeah, Alan, I did see about Biden's cancer charity research. Yeah, apparently they made like 3.4 million in donations and they didn't give a single penny to cancer research. They just kept the lot, used it for salaries. It's unbelievable. Do you say icebox and sidewalk? Yeah. And all of my mail gets put in a big wooden bread bin nailed to a fucking post at the end of my driveway. So yeah, that's that. I think that'll do us for the day. I'm tired of fucking hearing the leaf blower blasted back to my ears through these fucking headphones. So we'll call it there. As usual, thanks for watching. I thought I'd do one a bit more uplifting after yesterday's somewhat drippy live stream. I'm sticking around. I've got no plans to go anywhere. And if they keep fucking deleting my post and censoring me, I'll just have to keep remembering to Control-C and just constantly spam them. They're fucking spamming me. I'll spam them, the bastards. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can check out this fine video entitled Look at Our Overt Race Hate. Perfectly sanctioned by YouTube. And yeah, chuckle away as they delete my milquetoast shitty comments. Thanks for watching. A Simpsons style. Yeah, that's what I was on about. A fucking bread bin at the end of your drive. I'm off, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.